Hello, folks. Welcome to Unstuck at 40s. I am Nishanta Banik, and today we are diving into the world of Kubernetes setup management with Kustomize. Before starting with the topic, a quick tip for all of the learners. Please feel free to increase the speed to 1.25, 1.50, or even 2x to watch not only this but the rest of my videos if required. It ultimately enhances the learning speed. Also, the retention rate is quite safe. Now, back to this topic. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by managing Kubernetes configurations across different environments like development, staging, and production with multiple Kubernetes YAML manifests, Kustomize can really help you to simplify this process, this entire process for you. So in this video, we'll explore how Kustomize works and walk through a few practical commands and YAML codes to master your Kubernetes setup. So firstly, a few fact findings about Kustomize, like what it is, what it does, and why should we use it over another option, let's say Helm chart, correct? So Kustomize makes it easier to handle Kubernetes setups or packages by using simple YAML files instead of tricky templates and dependencies, like how it gets handled in Helm chart. So it lets you make reusable parts that you can share across different situational programs using the base folder. And you can also make overlays for different environments like dev, staging, and production using the overlay folder. I'll show you in how to do it practically, yes. This helps to manage this whole setup across our dev, staging, and production environments. So it ultimately allows you to declare and manage your infrastructure using Git workflows to easily handle and understand our Kubernetes manifest. And it works smoothly with kubectl also. So once kubectl is installed in your system, you really do not need to install any extra stuff or package or tool to use Kustomize with your Kubernetes setup. Yeah. So in short, Kustomize stands out by letting us manage one base Kubernetes manifest while adjusting configurations for various environments through overlays. So this method is perfect for maintaining consistency while customizing deployments for maintaining consistency while customizing deployments for any stage, whether it is dev, QA, staging, or prod. Now let's move to VS Code to see what we can do here to start with or start our demo with Kustomize. So first, to start with, I will go ahead and create two base folders or few of the folder structure. But before that, I would like to show you a few things. So this particular folder, the name is, named Kubernetes manifest. It basically contains a few of the Kubernetes manifest files named deployment.yaml, service.yaml, and config.yaml. I'm sure you know what it does, yeah. And I have kept another directory named as Kustomize manifest. You can give any other name. It is not a hard and fast rule to keep this kind of naming convention. But I just kept this name because I want to keep all my Kustomize related manifests inside this Kustomize manifest folder. Yeah, and I'll see what is my present working directory. Yes, I haven't said Kustomize manifest. Now I will go ahead and create a folder named base app. You can keep the name as base or bases, your wish, yeah, or even your name, doesn't matter. And then I will create other two folders basically. First of all, I need to create overlays. You can create it individually, but I just decided to create it in a single command. And dev and prod. So once this has been created, I'll type tree. Okay, to see the tree structure of the directories which we have created right now. So this is the base app, overlays, dev, and prod. Now you will ask this question, what does this folder structure or this particular individual folder means? So the base folder, here the name is base app. You can call anything, but ultimately it's the base folder for your Kustomize. Yeah. So the base folder is really useful in Kustomize because it keeps all your main setup files organized. So this makes it simpler to handle and understand your Kubernetes manifest, to reuse common setups across different situational environments, which ultimately helps in less copying and fixing up. So you can make changes to your main or base setup without messing up your different environments like dev, stage, or prod. Yeah. And the overlays folder is important because you customize or implement your Kubernetes setups for different environments like development, prod, staging, test, and so on and so forth. So it lets you make changes to your base setups without messing up, and also by keeping those changes separate in different folders. So it means you can kind of tweak and change certain parameters, let's say replica counts or resource limits, config maps, namespaces, and so on and so forth for each of the environments without changing the original set of files which has been mentioned inside base app. Yeah. So if I make it very short in real gist, the base folder basically contains the configurations which you want to be common or same across all of your environments, whether it is dev, stage, and prod. If you want certain configurations to be same or common, that particular configuration has to be stay inside base app. Yeah. And overlays folder contains the configurations which are unique for each of those environments, like dev, stage, or prod. And if required, you can override those base setups, okay, for that particular environment. Yeah. So let's say for a certain point of time, you have given a replica count equal to 2 for inside your base app. So if you basically implement the same base app kind of configuration across all of your environments, all of your overlays environments, let's say dev, prod, or stage, it will contain the replica count as 2. But for a certain period of time, you come back and say, okay, for dev, I want 5, or stage, I want, let's say, 7, and for prod, I want 10 replica counts. So you have to define those configurations inside individual customization.yaml file inside dev, prod, and stage. I hope it's a little bit understandable, but I will show you again practically. Yeah. So as already mentioned, so this Kubernetes manifest contains the normal manifest files, Kubernetes manifest files. And inside Kustomize manifest, I have created the tree structuring part. Yeah. So now what I will do as it starts our main journey. So I will actually copy this deployment.yaml and service.yaml inside our base app. And what about config map.yaml? I will not copy this, but rather I will create another file named config, or rather not config. Okay, fine. So I think this, config.properties, which will contain the same thing. So I will go ahead and go to environment, the simple config map data or details which I'll keep inside this environment equal to weather. That's what I want. Yeah, the config map to contain. So this is what we have given, and I will keep the deployment and service.yaml as it is. Yeah, and of course we'll be changing the other parts as I will go ahead with the new things. So now let's create the actual config file for Kustomize, which is customization.yaml, yeah, for our base app. And for that, or to start up with this customization.yaml, I will actually follow a simple customization YAML from GitHub. Yeah, so just Google, just type customization.yaml GitHub, and I will, let's say, I can take any one, but let's say I go with this. So this is the customization.yaml. So it's a simple one. So I just take it from here and I paste here. Awesome. And then what I'll do is I will do a little bit of place change it, this place, and take out these comments. So this API version kind metadata, I'm sure you know what it does. Yeah. So, and resources is basically inside the customization.yaml, we have to give the manifest files which will be referring, which this particular customization.yaml will be referring. So here we have deployment.yaml, awesome. We have service.yaml, but we do not have config.yaml because we have changed the config.yaml or config map.yaml file structure as config.properties. That's okay. And now I have these common levels. So what it does, do we need it? We need, yeah. So let's say I start with config, common levels as, let's say, base app or base app like that, yeah. Because it's a or base application. So I'm just giving a kind of base app, or let's say base web. I'll give like this. And then a few other parameters we need to provide. One is name prefix. And I will give the name prefix as Kustomize dash. And another one I'll give name suffix. And here I'll be giving as dash v1 or small v1, I think it's fine. And of course, the thing which we have created, like config.properties, we have to make this config map generator parameter over here and mention exactly which file we want to use for generating our config maps, correct? So name, give this, let's say I give a name as web app config map, anything, or config, whatever you want, you can give. I'm just keeping a standard, and hold on. Okay. So if there is a gap on all those things, you will get an error. So that's quite important to make sure that you have those particular standard of your coding, the gap and all those things related. So what is that? So I have given the environment as configured properties, which I have given over here. Yeah. So this is how it looks like, but I haven't made very important changes because even after giving the common levels, what this actually does. Okay, so this deployment, when I open it, yeah. So remember this. So when I actually added these common levels, okay, with the help of these common levels, I actually added the labels across most of my Kubernetes manifest files. Yeah. So inside deployment, if you have any selector match level or metadata match level kind of stuffs or metadata levels parameter, you can take this out, because instead of web app, it will actually place this base web parameter. Yeah. And if you keep like this, it will be a duplicate, because while giving this common levels parameter over here inside customization.yaml, I have actually placed the value of the selector and metadata levels inside this deployment as well as inside service.yaml. So I'll just go ahead and delete this and see, I have just placed one parameter over here named common levels, but I have deleted 7 to 8 number of lines from here. Yeah, not only from this deployment, but also from this service. So I go ahead and delete this levels web app and also selector and this number of lines. And this is the beauty of customization or customize basically. Yeah, so it helps you to reduce the number of codes or number of lines of your code and making everything inside this one. So this is a very small example, but if you go ahead with the bigger and bigger kind of examples in your normal environment, you will see your codes will be shrinking more and more and more. Yeah, awesome. So now what I can do is I will simply go ahead and okay, before running, I just have to tell a few other things. Now, by doing this, what I have done till now, yeah. So what are the configs we are trying to parameterize here for this app named base web, yeah, or this particular base app basically. Sorry. So labels, I'm just trying to add labels using common levels, yeah, adding prefix and suffix using name prefix and name suffix. Yeah, you have seen the application of common levels, of course, there, but name prefix and name suffix will help you. Once I run this particular customize and implement it, it will basically add the suffix and prefix, or prefix and suffix basically, for all of your Kubernetes resources, yeah, which ultimately helps you in different other environmental as well as version situations. So let's say if you want to create the same customization for your dev environment, so you can give the name prefix as dev dash and name suffix as any version which you want. Let's say at a certain point of time you want v1 and later you have upgraded your application to v2 or v3, you will give the suffix as v3. Similarly for prod, you can give prod dash. Yeah, awesome. So, and also you have we have parameterized config maps using config map generator parameter here, and so on and so forth. And of course, resources we have given deployment and service. Config map .yaml was not there, that's why we have deleted this. Awesome. So now we will run this command. Let's say kubectl kustomize dot. And when I run it, this command normally, okay, it will basically tell Kubernetes to generate resource manifest based on the configuration defined inside the current directory, which is dot, okay, using customization.yaml. But unfortunately, it has given us an error. What it is telling? It's telling that unable to find one of the customization.yaml or blah blah blah. I mean, similar like customization.yaml or customization k capital inside this directory, and it is correct. Why? Because we are not inside the correct directory where the customization.yaml is placed. So what we have to do? We need to run customize, and we have to give the exact folder location where exactly your customization.yaml file is located. And when you run it, you see the beauty. Yeah. So here you see the environment, that is the config map properties or config properties, whatever it has been given. So it is giving you kind as config map, and it is showing you that. Yeah. And also you see it is showing you all those particular services, and it is giving you the levels. This is the important part, guys. Yeah, levels with the help of this common levels which we have given. It is showing you the levels over here. It is also showing you the selector level over here. Yeah, for the service. And for deployment, you see here also this base app, the levels app, and here also it is showing match levels. So even though we have deleted the level part from the deployment and service YAML individually, but it has taken the common levels from the common level parameter from this particular customization.yaml. Yeah. So what this particular command is doing, base app, it is actually telling Kubernetes to generate resource manifest based on the configuration defined inside the base app, okay, using this customization.yaml. But again, it is not making this change. It is showing you the output, what it would be if we want to make a change. And to make this particular change, we want this change, of course, correct? And also, if you see, in deployment, we have given the replica number as 1. So that's what it is showing here, replicas equal to 1. Yeah, awesome. So to make this change, what we have to do, we have to simply run this command. So I'll go ahead and kubectl apply -k base app. And when you run it, you see all this config map, service, deployment, everything has been created. And how can you see it? You can run I will rather write the full command, kubectl get all -a, and here you can see. So A is inside. You are actually taking all the particular namespaces. So these are the things which has been created. So default these things which has been created, and inside service, this particular service has been created, and its namespace and all those things has been created basically. Yeah. Not namespace, but the particular deployment and the particular replica set. Anyway, so I have got this pod, so I just want to see how basically it runs. Okay, so I want to access this pod to see how it looks like. So I will do kubectl port forward, okay, and I will give 3000 and 5000. Okay, so when I run this basically, or run this particular command, kubectl port forward this pod name and 3000, 5000, it basically sets up a port forwarding connection between my local laptop and the specific pod named whatever, this whole LX9JZ in the default namespace, okay, because we haven't given any other namespace name. So if we go to deployment, you see the namespace is default, okay. So it is inside the default namespace, and it forwards traffic from port 3000, this is important, on your or on our local laptop to port 5000 on the mentioned pod, okay, allowing us or allowing me to access the service running on the port 5000 within the Kubernetes cluster as if it were running on my local machine only. So when I run it, I see it is actually started forwarding it, and I'll take this thing and go ahead and run this and see. It is giving me, we are currently running from pod, the same pod details it is giving LX9JZ, and namespace also it is giving, it is a default namespace. Awesome. So this is how it is actually showing me, and it is actually accessing that. And it has been successful basically to install that. So we have seen that's the pod details and namespace. And now we want to customize or parameterize different values for our dev and prod also separately, correct? So because we have done with base app, which is common for every environment, but we want to do this, different kind of customization inside our dev and prod environment. So let's start with our dev. Okay, so I will actually create the customization.yaml file creation for this. And for that, I will take, I do not need to write all the thing. So better what I'll do is I will take a few of this part, and the previous ones like API version, kind, and metadata, it is optional. I mean, I don't need to write out this part right in this moment. So resources, this is important to see. Okay, just have a look, because this is very important that in resources, you have to mention your base directory, okay, from where you are actually referring it. Okay, so this is the one which we want to refer for all the common resources which we want. But any other resources which we want to change, we have to create those particular YAML files inside this tab. But rest of the resources, I mean Kubernetes resource manifest or something, if we want to make everything common like base app, so I have given the resource definition over here, or the particular address of my base app directory over here. Yeah. So what I'll do is I will not make a lot of changes, but rather, let's say, okay, let me give it like this. So hold on. First of all, I will go ahead and because I want to create a new namespace for my dev environment, correct? Or dev resources. So I will create a namespace later over here, namespace.yaml, but I'm just keeping the resources over here. And also I need to mention the namespace dev, and I need to mention a few things, patches, so let me just write it down, and then I will actually explain to you guys, don't worry. Name prefix will give us, as I said earlier, in my dev environment, I'll be giving dev version 1, that is fine. And I am let's say config map, should I give or not? Not required, because I don't want to make it more complicated. So I will give images. So these are my image. Okay, I'll just take it from here. Where are you? Moment. Yeah, this is the one which I want. Okay, and I want the version 1. So when I want the version 1, I cannot. Normally I will not give it here. So when you are giving inside Kustomize.yaml, you have to give as new tag. Okay. I mean, if you are mentioning any versions or something like that, you have to give inside. You need to mention as new tag, the version 1. Yeah. So this is how it is. Let me go ahead and include the config map generator. So that's fine. So let's say I include config map generator part from here to there. I can simply go ahead and copy paste it, and I will copy this right here, and let's keep the web app as we'll talk about this, maybe let's say development. You can give anything else, dev or something like that, doesn't matter, but for our simplicity we have given like this. Now that's the thing. This, if you look at this part, yeah, this patches, okay, this particular you need to specify basically a patch or a particular, let's say, custom change to be applied to the base Kubernetes resources. So in this case, the patch is located inside replicas.yaml, which I have not yet written, and I will write it in some time. And it contains the instruction for modifying, the number of replicas for the deployment for which we are actually creating. Yeah. So, and if we have to make this particular config map to work here, I need to make a change inside base app. Okay, because config map, which already defined inside base app, basically, it will not be created separately. Okay, for other environments. it will not take from there. So I have to disable this inside base app, and then only I can create it. So either you, if you want to create the config map separately for your different environments like dev, prod, and test, you have to disable in your base app. Awesome. So I will go ahead and create the rest of the files, which are pretty critical, and that's it. Is namespace.yaml. Let's create it quickly. Sorry. Wait. And inside this, I'll give, let's say, API version as v1. Yeah. And then kind is simple namespace. Namespace, and then I'll give us metadata. And the name as, that's a dev. Okay. So I want the namespace to be created, which is as dev. And I need to create another one, which is replicas.yaml. And inside replicas.yaml, obviously it will be changed, but just to have an idea, API version, I'll give as apps-v1, and kind is deployment. And metadata name, if I want, let's say, what name? Let's say web app dash deployment. Yeah. And I'll give a specification and replicas. Let's say 4. Yeah. For our development environment, we want 4 replicas, or even the 2 is fine, no problem. So this is how it looks like. So this config map.properties has got development, customization, has got all the thing, namespace. First of all, I have dev environment created, or dev namespace, and replicas we have 2. That's fine. So right now, I can actually go ahead and let's say run this and see how it does look like. First of all, clear it properly. And when I run, so it is telling that version 1 kind config map. You see the same error which I've said, that if I have to run this, I have to disable the config map properties inside my base folder. So I can go to config map generator, and I will go ahead and disable it, or comment it rather than say. Yeah. And now when I run it here, I see that all the things which has been there, it is showing to me. So now is, first of all, it is showing me the config map for my dev environment as environment development. And then of course, the rest of the stuff, like, obviously I have not changed any, that particular common levels. Yeah. So that's why it is showing base web. Yeah. And the name of the resources, by the way, it is showing dev and then v1. Yeah. And then of course the other part, dev and replica 2, it is showing. Yeah. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and apply this. And also you see v1 Unstuck, and this, it is showing you the part. And when I run this command, it is namespace has been created, config map service as well as deployment, all the particular resources has been created. Yeah. So this particular previous one, overlays .dev, this command I'm talking about, what it has done, this has actually generated the Kubernetes resource configuration based on the specification defined inside the customization.yaml file inside dev directory. Yeah, overlays.dev directory. Previously it was inside customize base app directory basically. So now inside this, and kubectl apply-k this, or overlays.dev, it just applied those changes, nothing else. Yeah. So now if I run this, let's say if somebody wants to see where I have this particular config management, or rather configuration this particular config map, sorry, yeah, it has been created. So you have to write get, basically you can write the full command as kubectl for my environment or for my laptop. K will work as kubectl. Yeah. So get cm config map -n and dev, because it has been created inside dev environment, and this is the one particular config map which has been created. And if you want to have a proper look inside this, so you can run this command. Just a minute. Yeah, and -o YAML. So when you run this, you will see that all the particular things, environment development, is showing you the config map is actually enabled inside my dev environment. And if I have to see all the particular resources which has been created inside my dev environment, which has been created just now, this KG is nothing but kubectl get all. I mean, I'll tell you in other video how you can actually do this particular kind of shortening the name. Yeah. So this is actually showing you the pod, 2 pods which has been promised, has been running, and obviously service, deployment, and replica sets, all these things are running. Yeah. And if you want to take it, just copy and go to your environment, and you just change the pod details from here and do the port forwarding, but you have to make another changes, which is -n dev inside this. Yeah. So inside namespace, when you go and run it, you see what is the change will happen. Right now I have not refreshed it, but once I refresh, you will see there's the change, which is namespace equal to dev, and this web app version is equal to version 1. Yeah. So previous one was for previous base app deployment, which we have done earlier. But right now this is the correct, or this is the current web app deployment, which is running inside your dev namespace. Yeah. And with FFF 4RT DW pod. Yeah. So this is how it is looking right now. Now I want to make the same changes inside prod, and I will do very, very quickly. So don't worry. So right now what I'll do is I'll take the customization namespace replica from here. I am not bothered about config.properties right now. But one thing which I am little concerned is this. Just a minute, I have to close most of the stuff. Just give me some time. So first of all, customization YAML, correct? So inside customization, I am kind of, let's say, keep the resources as I think I'll keep it like this, and namespace, of course I need a namespace as prod, and then of course the other part, which is another component which I want is the resource limit. So this is another component which I really wanted to show you guys. That's why I'm just keeping it here. Namespace is equal to prod. Awesome. And let's say make the name prefix as prod. Here I will do for version 2, yeah, for our environment. And images, of course, if it's version 2, it's just version 2 config map. I'm not bothered because we don't need config map for our environment right now. And replica count value, I will go ahead and let's say make it a step or anything, 7, suppose. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. And resource limits, this is a little wider one, because I really wanted to make sure that you see these particular properties. Why resource limit? Because there might be number of situations where you want in your environment to have different kind or let's say a specific type of hardware limits for your different environments, for dev, for test, or for production. And you do not want your dev or staging or let's say testing environment to run with higher hardware components, correct? Hardware parameters. But you want your production environments to work with higher hardware components or compute resources. So that's the part, but that in that particular situation, this thing, which is resource limit, will come into the use. It will be very, very useful in that situation. So I have just kept it here. I'll copy paste. And you see here, It's simple. It's actually giving all those deployment web and all the metadata, all those blah 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 part. But important thing is request memory. This is the one 64 MI CPU. These things, and you are actually giving the limiting part or particular. You are limiting all those particular memory CPU over here. Now you basically go ahead and you can simply run the. Just a minute. I will just close it, and I will clear again, and then I will go ahead and run the command which is prod. Yeah, and once I run it, I can see all those particular information, which is customized v2 now. Yeah, and it is actually taking the replica set as 7, sorry, and also it is actually giving all those information like resources. Yeah, so whatever pods will be getting created, it will have all those particular parameters with respect to CPU and memory is concerned. So now I can go ahead and run this kubectl, let's say, overlays prod, and when you run it, the namespace has been created, service deployment as well as deployment, like this particular things has been created. And when you run kga-n prod, you see all those things has been created for you. And when you run this, you will have the similar kind of situation where you'll see that your environment has been accessible with the particular pod which has been created for you, and it will also give you the pod details as well as the namespace details for you. Yeah, you see here, so version 2 and the namespace is prod, and also it is giving you the particular pod details SD, yeah, which is ending with FBN SD. So this is how it looks like. And also at the same time, if you want to see what is the effect of the resource limits, you can run this command here, and you can see all these commands and all those particular parameters I will actually mention in the description section of this video. But if you run this command inside the namespace prod, you will see all those particular memory and CPU has been created. So sometimes it takes good amount of time to be created all these things, so that's why it's not showing maybe. But after some time, it will actually show you the memory and CPU usage, just like how it is showing here. So this is how you can actually implement Kustomize in your multiple environments and make so-called your environment ready. Yeah, and any kind of changes, whatever you require as per your dev, test stage or prod environment, you can make all those changes. So hope it was helpful for you all, and please refer to Kustomize documentation. So you can simply go to Google and type for kustomize.io page, which is here. Yeah, so you can go to this particular documentation page to get more ideas and use cases about Kustomize. Kindly share a few personal experience or use cases where you have actually used Kustomize in your environment. And if yes, please like this and share it with your known circles. And please subscribe to this channel. I promise you to bring much more values with respect to cloud, DevOps, AI, ML, as well as a little bit of LLMs in near future. Until then, keep winning and happy learning. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.